All right, today we're diving into Seoul, but we're zoning in on one specific district that, honestly, tells the story of the entire country's extremes. We're talking about Yeongdeungpo. And this place, it isn't just one neighborhood. It's really two completely different worlds practically sitting on top of each other with just a little bit of water in between.
So that leads us to the big question, right? How on earth can one single place be both the shiny, high-powered Wall Street of Korea and at the exact same time, its gritty, industrial, immigrant heartland? I mean, those two things just don't seem to go together. That's the paradox we're going to get into today. And this is it, right here. This is the split in a nutshell. On one side, you've got Yeouido Island. Think finance, politics, pure power. Then, literally just across the water, you've got the mainland part of the district, a whole different vibe. We're talking industry, cool art scenes, and vibrant immigrant communities. It's like two different cities sharing the same address.
You know, even the name itself kind of gives you a hint about the place's deeper story. Yeongdeungpo, it literally translates to spirit ascending port. That comes from a really old shamanic ritual they used to do for safe passage on the water. It's this beautiful reminder that underneath all the modern skyscrapers and bustling streets, there's a really deep history here. Okay, so let's start with the island. Let's talk about Yeouido. Honestly, for a lot of people, this isn't just part of Yeongdeungpo, it is Yeongdeungpo. This is that gleaming, powerful, in-your-face side of modern Korea. And people have a really simple but powerful way to describe it. They just call it Yeouido, Korea's Wall Street. And really, that nickname? It tells you everything you need to know about its economic power and its place on the world stage. And I mean, it's no surprise why. Just look at what's crammed onto this one little island. You've got the National Assembly, that's where all the laws get made. You've got the Korea Exchange, the literal pulse of the nation's economy. Then you have the headquarters for huge corporations like LG and KB Bank, the main financial watchdog, and the national TV station, KBS. I mean, wow, that is an insane amount of power all in one spot. So who actually lives here? Well, it's exactly who you'd expect. We're talking high-earning professionals, powerful politicians, famous celebrities. They all live and work right here in this epicenter of influence. It's a place that was literally designed for power. And if you could just zoom out and see how the island is laid out, it totally confirms this. It is just dominated by these huge financial towers, massive government buildings, and super expensive high-rise apartment complexes. The whole place is just engineered for business and power, through and through. But then you have this, a total curveball. Right in the middle of all the money and politics, you find the Yeouido Full Gospel Church. And this isn't just any church. It has the largest single congregation in the entire world. So you've got this other kind of powerhouse, a spiritual one, sitting right there on this island of giants. It's wild. Okay, so now let's hop across the water. We're heading to the mainland part of Yeongdeungpo, and trust me, it's a completely different world over there. We're leaving the glass towers behind and stepping into the heart, the real soul of old industrial Seoul. And a perfect example of this is the Mullae-dong neighborhood. Its story is just incredible. If you go back to the 60s, this place was a powerhouse, a booming industrial hub full of steel and machine shops, really driving the country's growth. But by the 90s, things changed. The factories closed, and it became kind of an industrial graveyard. But then, in the 2000s, something really cool started to happen. Artists started moving in, taking over these empty workshops and transforming the whole area into what's now known as the Mullae Art Village. And that's the vibe you get there today. It is such a unique mix. You can literally be walking down a street and hear the sound of welding from a small steel shop. And then right next door, you'll hear music spilling out of a hipster cafe or a jazz bar. It's this amazing blend of gritty and creative, and there's nowhere else quite like it. But wait, there's another really important part of the mainland's identity. And get this. Yeongdeungpo has the single highest number of registered foreign residents in the entire city of Seoul. And let's be clear, this isn't happening in the fancy high-rises on Yeouido. Nope. This is happening right here on the mainland. And a lot of that is concentrated in one neighborhood called Daerim-dong. This is Seoul's biggest Chinatown. You walk around there, and the signs are in Mandarin. The language you hear everyone speaking on the street is Mandarin. It feels like a completely different country, and it is an absolute world away from the English-speaking, buttoned-up financial hub that's just a couple of miles away. So, okay, this all brings us to the really big question. How do these two totally different worlds actually live side by side in the same district? Because this isn't just a place with some interesting contrasts, it's like a tiny, super polarized version of the whole country.
And you can see this divide so clearly when you look at politics. It's almost a perfect split. Yeouido, with all its high-income folks, is a staunchly conservative area. It's like a fortress for that party. But then you go to the mainland with its working class and immigrant communities, and it's historically been a liberal stronghold. It's like a political fault line runs right down the middle of Yeongdeungpo.
So what does that mean in practice? It means that every single election here is an absolute battleground. It's super high stakes, the vote is always close, and it really feels like a fight for what the district is all about. And a lot of the time, the tensions here are just a small-scale version of what's happening across the entire country.
But, it's not all about division. Real life has a way of making these two worlds bump into each other. I mean, everybody, whether you're an investment banker from Yeouido or a steel worker from the mainland, uses the giant Yeongdeungpo train station. They all go shopping at the huge malls like Times Square. And when it's time for the famous Cherry Blossom Festival or the incredible International Fireworks Festival, you've got millions of people from all backgrounds standing shoulder to shoulder on the riverbank, just enjoying the show together. So, where does a place like this go from here? What's next for Yeongdeungpo? Well, the future is being shaped right now by these exact tensions. And the year 2025 is shaping up to be absolutely huge for the district. There are three massive things happening. First, the National Assembly is starting to partially relocate out of the city. That's a big deal. Second, they're starting a massive project to rebuild all those 50-year-old apartment buildings on Yeouido. And third, a new high-speed rail line is coming in that's going to make Yeouido Station an even more important transportation hub. I mean, the ground beneath their feet is literally about to change.
And all of that leaves us with this one big final question. As Yeongdeungpo goes through all these huge changes, what's going to happen to its two halves? Will these starkly different worlds finally start to come together, to merge a little? Or is the gap between the island of power and the mainland's industrial heart just going to get even wider?